Hey guys, it's Mad Dolls, and today, yet again, is a very different kind of video. I want to talk about something that I don't think YouTubers talk about enough, and that is their connection to dolls, their real personal, real life connection to dolls. Mommy's World is my favorite YouTuber. Melissa Hunter, I've watched her since I was a little one, and I still watch her every single day. I love her. And she does talk about it a lot and openly, and I love it. It's amazing. And I definitely want to do that as well. So I want to share my Monster High story because I think it's fun and it means a lot to me. And you know, maybe people can understand why I love it so much. But yes, so this is my Monster High story time. No, it's my story. It's a little serious. Because so was Melissa Hunter's. And I think that's what means even more. And you know, if Mattel or Monster High or Garrett Sander or Rebecca Shipman sees this stuff, you know, I think it means a lot to them too. To know that their hard work means a lot to people and to everyone. So when I was a little girl, I just left first grade. So I was 7 years old, and my mom took me to Toys R Us, and she said, you can pick out any toy you want. And we were walking around, and I didn't really like anything. I didn't really want anything. And she picked up Draculaura. There was one left. It was July of 2010. So Monster High just came out. There was one Draculaura left. Like, it was the day they came out. And she was like, oh, I read about these online. These are these new dolls. You should get her. And ready? I said no.
Bruh.
What was I thinking? I said no. And she was like, oh, you know, are you sure? Like, and I was like, oh, no. And so then I don't even know if I got anything that day. I really don't. Nothing that I remember. I wanted a Fred pillow, and she said no. I probably got a Barbie. That's usually what I did. Or maybe a Bratz. Maybe, I don't remember. It was definitely a doll. Or nothing. I can't remember. So, I couldn't stop thinking about them. My little 7-year-old brain was like, I should have got her. I should have got her. Why did I say no? So it's all I talked about for a month. And my mom was like, oh, you know, so she's like, fine, you know, I'll take you back to Toys R Us and you can get one. Just one. So we went back to Toys R Us, and they had them all at that point. They had them all on like a back end cap, which is like the worst place to put them. And I chose, and I remember I stood there forever. I chose Laguna. So Laguna was my first ever Monster High doll, the original one. And I loved her. I did, however, like instantly lose her doll stand, which was so sad. I was so upset about it forever. Never found it. Don't know where it is. Don't know whatever happened to it. I will never know. I'm gonna assume it got thrown away in the garbage, because like I searched and searched for like 11 years now, and I never found it. So it had to have gone in the garbage. So yes, and I loved her. She would sleep next to me in my bed every single night. I loved her so much. And then, of course, I was like, I need the rest. So my birthday was September. So I got Laguna August, it was September. And for my birthday, all I wanted was Cleo and a boy doll. That was the biggest deal to me, because as a little girl, I had so many Barbies. I had so many Bratz. I could never find a boy doll. At least where I lived in Pennsylvania, never, ever. I had like 2 Kens, and they were the only 2 Kens I ever saw in my whole life. And my mom even, she would go and search and look for a Ken or Cameron or Dylan from Bratz. Couldn't find any. No boy dolls existed. And so there was a boy doll with a girl doll. I was like mind blown. So I did. I got Cleo and Deuce for my birthday. And then with my birthday money, I went to Walmart and I got some Monster High merchandise, like a little bracelet, and like they had these weird little hangy hooky things that had like a ball on the end and like charms. Still don't know what it is, but I got a Cleo one, and I got all the little they were like mirror keychains, and I got Frankie and Draculaura. And it was so cool, and I loved them. And the guy at the checkout was so mean about them. And I will remember it forever, because he was like, ooh, you want these and not a Barbie? And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking? I was like, I am 7 years old. I was 8. I'm like, I am 8 years old. Huh? And it was like near Halloween time. So it was even cooler too. Because I remember they had all like costumes everywhere. And so I decided that Claudine was my favorite. I don't know why. I didn't have her. And I was like, Claudine is my favorite. Period. And there were some Monster High shows, and they used to have them playing in Toys R Us, which was the coolest thing ever, on the display. And, but I didn't have the internet at all as a kid, so I couldn't watch the shows. I didn't know anything about them, but I decided Claudine was my favorite. And so I was Claudine for Halloween. And it was like 2 days before Halloween, and we couldn't find Claudine anywhere. Just saying. We would doll hunt and doll hunt and doll hunt. We could not find Claudine anywhere. One day my mom went to the grocery store and they had one Claudine. And she brought it home and surprised me. And it was the best thing, coolest thing ever. So then I finally had them all, and it was amazing. And then, of course, after that, the Monster High episode was on Nickelodeon on Halloween, and it was the coolest thing ever. And that's all I cared about that Halloween. I was like, I gotta get home and I gotta watch Monster High. And I loved it. Fell in love, period. And so then, of course, I got older, and years went on, and I bought as many Monster High dolls as I possibly physically could, because my mom's rules were like I couldn't have doubles, and I could only buy the ones that I liked. And she hated that they made like 30 Frankies. She's like, no, you can't have every single Frankie. You can't have every single Draculaura, you know, but I wanted every single one, period. So I did end up, this is really cool, I have every single girl Monster High character, at least one of them. I never got an SDCC growing up because I don't even know. It's just because they were on the internet and we didn't have internet. So I just couldn't get them, which is so sad. It's so sad. But yeah, I would always save up all my money and I would buy Monster High, and for birthdays and Christmases I would get Monster High. And but I loved Monster High because I have a very painful disease, and Monster High made me feel like it was okay, like it was normal. And that was a big thank you, because Barbie didn't really do that, and Bratz didn't really do that. You know, Barbie was like, hey, when you grow up, you could be anything. And I was like, okay, I will. And then Bratz was like, hey, you can dress and look any way you want. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. But Monster High really hit on, you can look or feel any way you want, and that's okay. And that felt amazing, because Monster High was about welcoming everyone, no matter what. And in the real life, it wasn't really like that, because the disease is in my spine. And so I'm constantly in extreme pain. And it just gets worse as time goes on. So as time went on, I was in more pain. I could do less and less, especially at school, like no more gym class, no more sports, you know, and it sucked. It felt like the end of the world. But Monster High made it feel like, hey, it's okay. You know, like everybody's different, and you're welcome at Monster High. Even if you do have a extremely painful disease, it's fine. And so that was like a big deal, especially like when Finnegan came out, and Finnegan's in a wheelchair. I felt like, oh my gosh, you know, like he's amazing. Like I thought he was just the coolest doll. And I still think that. A lot of people don't like him, and I don't understand why, because he's a pretty great guy. Because even though he is in a wheelchair, he's a daredevil. He'll do anything. And he really inspired me, because then I was like, I could do anything, you know, even though I'm struggling and I'm in pain, and I still can do anything. And then, of course, Monster High rebooted. But it kind of rebooted at a very interesting time because I kind of got in middle school and I kind of grew out of Monster High and I kind of grew more into comic books and Marvel, and so I kind of let Monster High dwindle out a little bit. I still got some dolls, but hardly any. And then Monster High rebooted, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, I miss old Monster High. I was like, what is this? You know, I was like, this is not Monster High. I need Monster High. So I would start going to the stores because now I had money. I was in middle school. I was able to have more money than, you know, as a 7-year-old child. And so I started going and buying whatever old Monster High dolls were left in stores, which was hardly any. It was like Great Scarier Reef, and that's kind of it. Oh, Haunted. There were a few Haunted dolls I was able to get. And I bought some of the Reboot dolls that I just thought were like, oh, all right, you know, this is pretty. And I loved Monster Family. I still love Monster Family. They are, I approve of them. I would like them to make more Monster Family dolls. But I got so back into dolls. Like, so then I started buying some Monster High collector dolls, and I loved them. And so then Monster High was dead, and the pandemic hit. So we were sent right home, and they were like, oh, it's just 2 days off school. And then they were like, oh, it's gonna be a week off school. And then they were like, 2 weeks, 3 months. Oh, we're not coming back. So I was bored out of my mind. I had a phone in a basement full of dolls. And I was like, what if I start cleaning them up and figuring out what doll is what, who is who? Now I did keep my Monster High dolls nice, but like my Barbies and Bratz, woo, they were a mess. They were a mess. So I did that. I started taking care of them and cleaning them and identifying them, and I made an Instagram account, and it went bad at first. I completely lost my account, and then I made a new one. And I did actually, when I was in like 8th grade, I had a doll account, but I lost interest in the internet. And then but now I have my Instagram account that I use a lot. And it was so fun, and everyone was so nice. And then too, I knew all the doll news, all the doll tea, and I loved it. So then, recently-ish, I made TikTok, and I started putting my dolls on TikTok, and I love TikTok. And then I was like, okay, I've got a lot to say, and you can't say a lot on TikTok. So I was like, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel. And because I'm also now in college and I'm broke, so maybe I can make some money on TikTok and YouTube. That would be great. So I started doing that. But before I left for college, I did the hardest thing I ever had to do to my dolls. I did pack them all in storage. Because I used to have them all like on stands and shelves, and oh, they look so pretty. I took like days and days, and all my dolls are packed up in bins, and they're in storage, and it's really sad. But, you know, once I get out of college, then I will, they will have the coolest setup ever, I swear. I'm gonna make lots of crafts, you know, and make it look really nice. But, yeah. That is my Monster High story. I, of course, could have got deeper and emotional, but I don't want to do that. Not today. It's a Thursday in November. I've got class soon. You know. But that is my Monster High story. Definitely inspired by Mommy's World, Melissa Hunter. Go follow her. She's amazing. She's the OG. She's the inspiration of my life. Thank you so much for watching me. Follow me everywhere. Like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.